Welcome to the HIT podcast, H.I.T, Human Resources, Insurance, and Technology. I'm your host, Toby Kennedy. As always, on a weekly basis, what I'm looking to do is go through all the materials in the space and curate what I hope is a worthy follow for you. Bite-sized, digestible, once a week, drop it into your feed with your weekly hit. With that being said, this week's weekly hit is sponsored by Montage Insurance Solutions, and let's jump right into your weekly hits. For this week's weekly hit, I want to talk about some of the ancillary insurance products that might be in your benefits portfolio, or you might want to consider adding to your benefits portfolio. I was having a conversation the other day where I was talking about Worksite products, and someone said, I gotta be honest, I don't even really know what Worksite products are. I said, let me back up then. Let's have a definitive conversation. You know how sometimes people say, hand me a Kleenex, and what they really mean is hand me a tissue, right? Because brands can sort of get conflated with the words that we use on an everyday basis. People like to talk about the Aflac plans or the Aflac style plans. And the more generic name for that is your Worksite products. And there's lots and lots of insurance carriers that play in that space. Obviously, Aflac was the name brand. They're around for a long time. They have a clever duck that quacks at you. But there's lots of insurance carriers that play in that space. And it's sort of an interesting world to dive into, right? Because once we get outside of the medical, dental, vision, maybe life insurance, maybe some version of disability, a lot of times even in life and disability, we're already, frankly, a lot of times in dental and vision even, we're already wading into the waters of employee-funded products, right? Voluntary products, things that the employer might not be contributing towards. Obviously, many employers contribute something towards the dental and vision and often do buy a basic life insurance policy, and maybe they even fund the short or the long-term disability. But you're getting into that space, and when you go beyond that, you start to get into some of the Worksite products. One of the main Worksite products would be the critical illness plan, or a cancer plan. Oftentimes critical illness with cancer, but it's kind of like how in life insurance, you pick a face amount, you buy whatever that face amount is. Maybe it's $20,000, $50,000. And if an event befalls you, the policy performs. Obviously in life insurance, the event that triggers the policy is someone passing away, whereas in the critical illness, it's the diagnosis of a cancer or a covered illness, heart attack, stroke, major organ failure. One of these events happens and the policy just pays out. The prearranged, predetermined, maybe it's a $10,000, $20,000 benefit. So it's an extra insurance policy that pays you. It doesn't matter what you did or didn't pay on the medical, what deductibles you did or didn't have, whether you had to miss work, all of these things combined to sort of making the member incur some version of a cost if they had a heart attack or a stroke, and the benefit simply pays you, pays the member. It doesn't pay the doctor. It's not insurance. It's paying you in that regard. So you buy the face amount on the front end, whatever it is, $10,000, $20,000, and if one of these covered instances happens, you file a claim and you get paid, right? And that's sort of the critical illness plan. The more traditional kind of Aflac-y, really kind of run-of-the-mill product would be their accident plan, where now there's a whole schedule of things that can happen. It's not just these major events like the critical illness policy. It's a fracture, a laceration, a trip to the emergency room, a trip to the urgent care facility, right? You have all these different things scheduled out on the policy. And if this happens to you, you get paid $500. If that happens to you, you get paid $1,000, etc. So these products are designed to sit on the end of your benefits portfolio and sort of wrap around your insurances, whether or not they levy high or low copays or deductibles upon your members. Surely incurring this type of a life event will translate to them having some out-of-pocket expenses. And that's where these Worksite products can help be like a hedge bet insurance against whatever the member responsibilities are, whatever the missed work days are, whatever those things might be. What's also interesting about these benefits is to help with the cost of the premium. So again, these are almost always employee funded, and the employee has to buy this policy with a payroll deduction to help them with the premium. There's often a wellness screening associated with it. So if they just get their annual physical, they might get $50, $75 sent to them just for having a routine physical that they would have gotten anyways. And so now once that happens, it helps offset the cost of the premium and make the accident plan or the critical illness plan even more affordable for them. The last most common benefit to find in your worksite portfolio would be a hospital confinement, hospital indemnity, or gap type of a plan that basically says, look, if you're admitted to the hospital, we'll pay you X amount. Maybe it's $1,000 or $2,000. And for every day after that you're confined, we'll pay a lesser amount, maybe $200, maybe $500, that sort of a thing. So the worksite portfolio will often be some version of an accident plan, a critical illness plan, and then a hospital confinement plan. And as an employer, when you're considering these benefits, a lot of the times it's nice just to round out your portfolio regardless of how robust your medical, dental, vision, the rest of your healthcare benefits are. This is nice because most of the time it's employee paid. But I say most of the time because I've often also seen employers use that kind of premium to plan robustness relationship and maybe add a deductible that applies only to hospital or outpatient surgery. And they can save enough money on premium by altering that part of their plan design to where they can buy everybody a hospital confinement plan. So now you can say to the employees, look, we were getting an X% increase on our benefits. We brought it all the way down to Y% just by impacting the hospitalization part of our health insurance. We've added a member responsibility, but with the premium that we saved, we've bought everybody that takes this plan the hospital indemnity product. So should you be hospitalized, that member responsibility ultimately will not be yours. We'll help you file a claim and the supplemental insurer will pay you back for that. So it's a way for employers to look at worksite products and perhaps even find some that they fund because it offset the overall cost of their health insurance enough to make it worth it. Either way, whether we're adding this on an employer-funded side or an employee-funded side, a quick conversation here at the H.I.T podcast about these ancillary insurance products, about the worksite world, we thought was relevant. So we just want to come to you, touch upon that while we had your ear this week. Join us every week. Tuesdays, we're dropping into your feed. And until then, make this the best week yet.